All right, so the Pelicans and Suns game just ended not even a minute ago, and I just want to check in on the temperature with Pelicans fans. If you're familiar with this channel, then you know I am not going to be swayed much by this performance, but we did see some great things, and most importantly to me, Herb Jones being Herb Jones, making plays all over the court on both ends of the floor. That was good to see after he started the year struggling. Back from his injury, Herb Jones looks ready to go. Brandon Ingram had a ridiculous third quarter where he scored 21 points, was 3 of 4 from 3. I'm not sure how many times or if he's ever had a 20-point quarter. Maybe last year against the Raptors when he hit all those threes. So BI maybe increased his trade value. He showed you why you'd maybe want to trade for him. He also showed you a lot of the reasons why maybe you wouldn't want to trade for him down the stretch. But again, as always with this team, as much as you want to blame the players, you also got to look at Willie Green because the Pelicans tried to give away this game. If you look at the shots down the stretch of this game, they got one good shot in my opinion, which was a Herb Jones corner three. Besides that, it was contested shots for BI or CJ, DeJounte turnovers, BI turnovers, getting bullied in the post by Royce O'Neal, and absolutely no movement. Every possession started with like 9 on the clock. Typical Willie Green offense. I know the Pelicans just won and I'm supposed to be excited for it, but as I said at the beginning, I'm not swayed. I'm not swayed, and I actually kind of hate that this might make them feel emboldened to really go for it this year. But it is what it is, I guess. Something else that happened tonight was since Herb Jones came back, Trey Murphy was subsequently moved to the bench. A lot of people have different opinions on that. Is Trey Murphy a starter? Is he, spark plug off the bench type, kind of like we were seeing with DeAndre Hunter? Well, now DeAndre Hunter's back in the starting lineup. I know that has really nothing to do with the Pelicans, but similar idea, right? We know Trey Murphy is. Some people think the ceiling is higher than others. I'm in between, right? I don't think Trey Murphy's ever going to have the off the dribble game that people believe he might have. I just don't think he has that. And just the way he moves, it doesn't seem natural to him. And it probably doesn't matter because they win and Trey Murphy still ends up playing 34 minutes in this game, so it's not a big deal. But on a team with no Zion, Trey Murphy still coming off the bench, not sure he would be happy about that, but winning solves all those problems, so we're not even gonna really focus on that. But yeah, Pelicans fans, how are we feeling after that win? They now move to 5-18 on the year, which makes you feel like that Chris Paul meme, cut the lead to 42 or whatever it is. 5-18 on the year. And if my math is correct, they are 7 or 6 games behind the 10 seed already. And I know this doesn't really matter, although, numbers do matter. I go to Basketball Reference playoff probabilities report, and it's saying the Pelicans have a 0% chance to make the play. I don't even know how that's possible to have a 0%, but it's not a high percentage, right? Especially when you look at the fact they've already lost the season series to the Warriors. They lost to Portland twice. They beat Portland once. They got one more game against Portland, I believe. So that, tiebreaker's up in the air. And then you just look at the fact that they haven't played a tough schedule per se. Yeah, I mean, they played OKC, they played Denver, they played Dallas, they played Cleveland, and then the games against Golden State for sure. Memphis, New York, so they played a tough schedule. But what I mean is they still got Golden State 1 more time. They got OKC 3 more times. They got Boston 2 times. They still got to play Milwaukee 2 times. Phoenix 2 more times. Houston 4 times. Denver 2 more times. Memphis 2 more times. The Lakers 2 more times. Dallas 2 more times. Apologies if I repeated some in there. I didn't even mention the Clippers games. I feel like the Clippers is going to be a particularly tough matchup for this team. And I guess I could have just avoided all that by simply saying, according to Tankathon, the Pelicans have the 4th toughest schedule remaining. No coincidence that the top 4 teams are all Western Conference teams, and then the Pistons, and then another 4 Western Conference teams. The West is ridiculous. This is actually absurd. The remaining strength of schedule, it is 11 Western Conference teams in the top 12 and the Pistons. Adam Silver Fixture League. That is actually crazy. If you ever need a representation of how bad the Eastern Conference is compared to the West, that is the perfect example, because the East teams still have to play the East teams a lot more, so that's why there's only 1 Eastern Conference team in the top 12 of remaining strength of schedule. There's only 15 teams in the conference, 11 of that's crazy. So 5-18, upcoming schedule: OKC, San Antonio, Sacramento, Indiana, Houston, New York, Denver, Houston, Memphis, LA being the Clippers, Not the toughest schedule, not the toughest schedule. And to be fair to the Pelicans, we really haven't seen what this team looks like. I'm not someone that thinks they're a bad team. Before the year, I predicted they would win over 50 games. So it's not like I'm being proven wrong or, I don't believe this team can go on a run. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all, especially like what are we doing with Brandon Ingram? We're getting conflicting reports on Zion Williamson. The Pelicans are reporting he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and we know that reevaluated word does not mean he's going to return. But if you're being reevaluated in 2 weeks, that gives off the impression that maybe you'll be ready in 3 weeks or something like that, right? But then on the other side, we have Shams saying, "Oh, this guy's nowhere near return. Like he's not even close to returning." I don't know why Shams is so outwardly comfortable doing that. It's so weird. It's always weird around the Pelicans, but there's mixed messages. Zion had the weird thing where he said, "If it were up to me, I feel like I can do a lot." Well, Zion, you're a grown man, right? Why is it not up to you? I don't get that. But I do believe this team is going to actually win games right now, and I think if you're running the Pelicans, that's not the best outcome for you unless they go on some miraculous 30-10 run the rest of the way. Not the rest of the way because there's more games to be played, but if they do something like that, because let's even be optimistic and say they're 5-18 right now. So if they went 35-24, right? That would be 82 games, right? 35-24. They would still be 39-42. They would still be 39-42. In order for the Pelicans to end up with a winning record, they would have to go 37-22 just to get 42 wins and probably still be the 10 seed. Last year, the 10 seed won 46 games. And Pelicans fans always hold on to we remember when we made the play and it went on, they won 36 games. That's not happening again. That's not happening again. Look at the current top 12 in the West right now and tell me which one of those teams is not winning 42 games. And even the ones that aren't winning 42 games, they're already 6 games ahead of the Pelicans in the standings. Maybe you could convince me the Lakers are going to fall off. Maybe you could convince me the Spurs are going to fall off or the Kings might fall off. All those teams are still at least 5 games ahead of the Pelicans right now. So best case scenario really is the 10 seed. And then we know what you have to do as a 10 seed to get in. It's just not looking great. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Can I be excited to watch some of my favorite players? Absolutely. My 2 favorite players on the team came back. B.I. and Herb Jones. That's my favorite duo on the team. But I can't lie, all of it seems a little bit pointless when you know for sure CJ McCollum is not in the future plans of this team. You don't think B.I. is in the future plans of this team because if he was, why wouldn't he just be signed already? And Zion's not even here, so it's not even like we're watching, Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson finally getting it together, finally figuring it out together. That's not even happening. Let's say Zion comes back mid-January. Zion comes back, he's going to be on a minutes restriction. He's probably not going to play in back-to-backs. He's going to play in like 10 games before we get to the trade deadline. I just don't think we're seeing anything else. I just don't think we're going to learn much this year. Yes, B.I. is taking more threes. That's very helpful. You wanted him to take more threes so he could fit around Zion. Zion's not even here. You're not learning anything about CJ. Those guys just don't seem like they're in the future plans, and I know I'm just repeating myself, but tonight was fun. It was fun, even though I don't think it was, good. It's kind of like, you have one of those nights out with your friends, and you're like, man, we probably shouldn't do this, but yeah, we're gonna have fun anyway. And that's what the Pelicans is right now, or are right now. I'm gonna enjoy watching Brandon Ingram play. I'm gonna enjoy watching Herb Jones play. CJ, I know a lot of people don't love CJ. A lot of Brandon Ingram fans don't love CJ, but I enjoy watching CJ play. And also, it should be noted, I believe this stat is correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. On the broadcast, they showed a stat that was over the last 2 games of BI and CJ when they play, or last 2 years, I should say. But their whole time together, I believe they are 65-46 when BI and CJ play together. And that's not a crazy record. It's a good record for sure. almost 20 games above 500. That's a pretty damn good record, actually. And you got to consider Zion's missed a ton of that. Trey's missed some of that. Herb has pretty much been their majority of it. But these haven't been great teams. These haven't been great teams. But when CJ and BI are on the court together, they usually win. But still, if you're building your team, like, that's nothing. That's nothing to really be holding on to. But I think it should be noted that when BI and CJ are on the court together, they actually have really good chemistry. It just gets a little bit muddled when you add a Zion, when you add a DeJounte Murray. It starts to seem like you maybe don't need BI and CJ on the court together. But I've enjoyed those two guys playing together. I know a lot of people haven't. A lot of people question both of their shot selection, but I've had fun watching them. Both of them, 2 buckets, pure buckets, right? You love to see that. So I am, as much as I feel like it is time to move on, I am going to miss it. I could just be psyching myself out, though, and it's not going to happen. How crazy would it be? I guess it wouldn't be that crazy at this point, but are they really just going to let BI just hit free agency? Like, would they really just do that? No, a decision has to be coming up soon. And would they really extend BI? Would they really do that? We'll see, though. Overall, though, I had fun watching the Pelicans tonight, which is more than I can say for about 20 of the 23 games this year. So that was good. Pelicans fans, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.